God bless all of you. Let me start this day by saying to all of the ladies in our lives, every woman that we know, Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to you, Mama. Happy Mother's Day to you, darling. Happy Mother's Day to all the wives. Happy Mother's Day to all the daughters, all the daughter-in-laws, all the grandmas. Joel?
On that, yes, happy Mother's Day to you all. God bless you, and I hope this has been an enjoyable day. Keep it moving.
Let's make sure that you understand. We love you. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you have done for us. When we were sick, when we were hungry, when we needed a hug, and when we needed love. You gave us love. God bless all of you, Mama. This is for you. This is for you. And this is for you. This is for you. Just our way of saying thank you. Joel? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To all you beautiful ladies. God bless you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. We'd just like to thank you for liking us. We like you too. We love you. So forth and so on.
Yes, and soon we'll be offering a subscription basis where you'll be able to see kind of like what goes on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be back to you on that one.
And what they're going to do, we're going to say, oh, we need some money.
Yeah.
So we're moving forward now, and so many things have changed. And yes, we need you to subscribe so we can eat. That's how it goes, right?
Yes.
This is America. Let's not play games.
We can just drink water in the meantime.
Water's good.
Hey.
All the football season about ready to start.
Yeah.
Beautiful out here in America. What else is
Justin Tucker.
Justin. Oh, wow. We're sorry to hear about Justin. Don't want to call him the thing that, the other name, but those of you who know what we know, you all know the deal. That boy done messed up. And lost all that 13 years in the NFL, and he lost it only because he wants to, what do you call it again?
Filly up on the girls?
Oh, my God. I mean, come on. Anybody to see him coming around now, like Magic Johnson, you get away from him.
I think he wanted a happy ending.
No, well, I mean, I don't believe him. I mean, he said he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But, 16 women say you did. You're not Donald Trump. So, you're not going to prove that. You young, rich, healthy. Not that Donald is not, but there's no comparison between the two. Justin Tucker, if NFL said you did it, you did it. And they did.
I hope he gets his retirement.
I just hope he saves some of that money. What was that other one that messed up the number 27?
The Lewis. What was his name?
No, it wasn't Lewis.
I can't remember his name. The one
Lewis
beat up
was
his wife.
The one that beat up his wife?
Yeah.
I don't know, what's the matter with you,
Ray Lewis.
Football player?
That's Ray Lewis. No.
Ray Lewis is the one.
Not Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis was the one that did something with killing somebody. I don't know.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Something about that. Don't y'all get mad at me. Y'all did it. I didn't did it. But whatever that number 27, he took him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Bad football player. Man, real. What's his name again? I forgot his name. But anyway.
That's the whole idea.
I forgot. When it comes to us, if we can't remember it, send it to us. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong. But we're going to move on.
Yes.
Joel?
Yes.
A new man was elected November 5, 2024.
Yes.
And in that period of time, he took with him Congress, Senate, got control. Well, he doesn't have control of the Supreme Court, but, Supreme Court, maybe I think one of them is trying to retire now. Who else? You got the presidency.
Yes, they're all.
And so everybody's trying to monitor. The people that have lost are still angry for some odd reason.
Well, the left wing isn't. There's no leadership now in the Democratic.
What about
Party.
that dumb girl over in Texas? What's her name again? Cricket?
Well,
Crackett?
you said it dumb.
She is dumb.
They need somebody in there that actually knows what to do.
But she doesn't.
Well, they've got to sell an agenda that apparently a lot of voters don't like.
I don't know what's the matter with, can I be a little blunt about it? White people in the Democratic Party, there's something seriously wrong with them that they always have to use black people to do their dirty work. Any way you look at it, folks, we're seeing it. That's why DEI died. Because that whole perception is just wrong. Instead of going with somebody's quality, you're going with somebody's.
It's hard to sell. I mean, let's face it. How do you sell, a society or a system that says we're not going to go for the best. We're going to go for people who look like this or look like that. Whoever is going to be.
They tried to sell it. They didn't buy it. America didn't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get into an airplane or be under the scalpel of somebody that knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
But.
You scalp somebody, and wow.
And plus, anyway, it doesn't even affect black folks because most of the people who were hired under DEI were not from the black community. So it ended up all these other groups that kind of piled in front. And
there's somebody else I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to. I forgot. I'm so sorry, folks. Millicent. This lady is a sharp woman, very, very smart.
Oh.
Congratulations on your party last night. And also, Princess Igwabike, her husband's name is called Stone. Ukute. This brother is so strong, very healthy man. I mean, overcome so many tragedies and so many personal issues. Wow.
That's great.
But to the princess, Happy Mother's Day. Just want to remember those two people in particular. And the first lady from Ebony State. I won't call any names because her husband is a big dog over in the motherland.
Oh.
So, and the other first lady, I'll just call her Ify, which is her name, part of it. Happy Mother's Day to you ladies. As we go along, I'll remember some more people and I'll wish you a happy Mother's Day. But let's get back to Donald Trump's 100 days.
Okay.
100 days. What have this man done? And I don't know why you're measuring a human being about 100 days,
I think it was a clever strategy. I think that he realized that he was going to be, everything that he was going to propose is going to be blocked.
Or tried to be blocked.
Right. So what he did was
interrupted.
He took that old German, what was it called? The Blitzkrieg, where the Germans decided they weren't just going to do a traditional battle. They were just going to rush headlong into the enemy and shock them.
Something you said about offense?
Yeah, it is complete offense. You just literally, in old-fashioned warfare, you just kind of pot shot at everybody. But if you have a group that's just going to charge right through no matter what, modern warfare or the traditional warfare isn't designed for that.
Wow.
So
sounds like what the North Vietnamese did to during the Tet Offensive in Vietnam. And that's the other thing. To all the veterans' wives, I wish all of you a happy Mother's Day while your husbands are somewhere else other than home. Please accept Jarrell and mine's Mother's Day present, gifts, love. Stay strong. Pray for him. Happy Mother's Day to all the veteran wives.
Well said.
Thank you. Now, in 100 days, Donald Trump has done 143 executive orders.
Yep.
Let me just run down to it because, we're working on time. 42 proclamations. 42 memorandum of understanding. That's a lot. And here we go. I like that. Laken Riley. Now, all these executive orders, the only one that involved the two houses, the executive house, the House, what is it? The Congress and the House
Yeah.
and the Senate. The only one that involved them was the Laken Riley Act when both teams, both boards, or both group went ahead and worked well together for the president to sign the Laken Riley Act. And that's good. There should be more of that. But you Democrats have got to stop this nonsense you're doing. Stop it. How about the immigration reform?
Well,
Not a big problem there, Joel.
Well, you figure that this is literally a reversal of the entire mandate from the last administration. Immigration was basically designed, or the strategy was to get rid of the white majority, to mix it up, to colorize it by bringing in people who would be loyal to the Democratic Party.
Oh, crooks. Oh, sorry.
And
Don't get mad. You are what you are, you know. You're not the only one. There's Republican crooks too.
I mean,
as Bummer in South Carolina. Hello, Bummer. We want to make sure we say hello to you and your wife and anybody you can remember. Let them, say something to them.
Okay.
Bummer has a wife. Happy Mother's Day, your sister, and he has a mother who's been in the hospital for some time. I think she's almost 89 or almost 90 years old.
Well, God bless you.
God bless you, Mom. Stay well. And happy Mother's Day to you, too. Oh, my mother-in-law, she's 94.
Oh, wow.
Amy, happy Mother's Day to you. God bless you.
Amen.
My daughter-in-law, my baby girl.
Oh.
I got a baby girl. She's wonderful. Happy Mother's Day to you. Go ahead, sir. It's about the immigration reform.
Well, it's kind of anything where you have to sit back and say, well, the mandate that was given to Trump is everything that the Democratic Party was doing was destroying the country.
Well,
so let's reset it back to something that we understand and remember.
And reform it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all you need doing that.
But you figure the Democrats, because they are now disorganized, there's no leadership, they've got to figure out the only strategy they have is to resist. Donald Trump.
I don't even want them to resist. I want them to just go ahead and try to work with the current administration.
But if you've noticed, though, this new generation of resistance they're violent. If they don't get their
a lot of violence.
If they don't get their way, they assault, they verbally abuse, and they get physical. They're destroying property, and that seems to be, if the right wing did even half of what the left wing is doing, there would be calls for I don't even know what.
I mean, dude, when the Democrats were in charge, people worked with them, somewhat, except that some of their reforms were some of their proposals and some of their policies were not exactly good, and people objected to it. So, the same thing. Let this new administration do the work that the American public, American people elected them to do, and try to find some way to work with them rather than looking for a way to work against them. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, of course. But you're talking about a time when we actually had discourse, which is you have your opinion, I have mine. Let's see if we can try to work together towards the common good. Now,
for the common good.
Right. Now,
get it, Democrats? For the common good.
So now you have a side that
not
says,
for just your good.
You can't go with what I said, you're wrong, and I'm going to blow up your business. I'm going to vandalize your property.
I'm going to stand up in Congress like that stupid boy from New Jersey. What's his name? That filibustered the whole place for 26 hours trying to prove what?
And to a certain degree, that's within the realm of politics. Where it goes outside the realm of politics is when you're trying to hurt people.
And he did.
They literally tried to assassinate Trump twice. They have, destroyed businesses. They have threatened numerous people. They've gone not just
and everything that they've done with taking businesses outside of the United States didn't work. We got it back. We're doing it better. Come on, folks. Dummies.
Yes.
Anyway,
It's scary.
deportation. Deportation is taking a flying leap. There's less, almost, you don't even see anybody at the borders anymore. Not even,
Shut down.
you just shut down. And now you're starting to work on the inside to get rid of those people that are criminal, and there are a lot of them. Oh my God. Maryland, is one of those states that is harboring illegal immigrants. They're doing it. To the point of going all the way to where they come from to try to, come on, Senator. Oh my God, are you serious?
I recall in a previous lifetime, I remember looking at the old American history where the settlers, whatever you would call them, the immigrants were coming in, and there was this kind of, we don't care what you did back in Europe. It's as long as you're going to be okay here, you can change your name, and as long as you go out there and all you're doing is growing potatoes, we don't care. But the new generation is taking it a step further. They're involved in organized crime. They're committing international crime along with violence and things that make all of us unsafe. So that's where it's crossed the line. But because we have to have an opposition force that just operates on pure emotion, we're not having a logical conversation about how we can make this country safe.
Common sense helps an awful lot.
The common sense ain't common.
For some people.
Yeah.
But okay, deportation is still working. It's taking, not really, there's some states that are harboring illegal immigrants and criminals. But let's go, let the man continue. It's only 100 days, gee. So one of the things that Donald Trump have done with this tariff on other countries, holy cow. This is something that was done umpteen years ago by another president, and it seems to be working for America today. It seems to be working, Joel.
Americans are very impatient people. We want stuff now. We want it yesterday. And if you come up with a strategy that could potentially be effective, Americans have a hard time being patient.
Well, they got to be patient,
It's not our nature. It's not our nature. So therefore, Trump is going to lose. He's going to lose some points in the poll. I'm very sure. However,
unless
yeah,
by the use of tariff to reduce that national debt of 36 trillion dollars.
Yeah.
If that happens, if he brings the businesses back, and it seems like it's working. Have you noticed?
The rumors.
Gas is back down. Eggs are down.
That's excellent. But when when you look at the rumors and everything, supposedly the secret conversations going on between representatives, it looks like even China is sitting back and saying, okay, well, when the cameras aren't rolling, we can sit down and talk about this.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to save face. Canada, I get it. Nobody wants to be humiliated by any other.
Canada, the 51st state. We're getting you, and we should. So you might as well. We've been taking care of your behind for a long time, and now when it's time for you to work with us, you've been taking advantage of America.
But do you want 30 million left wings?
Let them come on. We don't care.
30 million. During the election.
And the Mexican side, well, we don't want Mexico. We just want Canada.
Well,
and we're going to get you. And who said that it's going to be 30 million left wings? I think that we're going to have have you seen some videos on Canada today?
I don't know.
Toronto looks terrible.
Yeah.
The streets are dirty. The homeless people all over.
That's
not a good place to be homeless. It's cold as hell over there.
Socialism doesn't work. Everybody knows this.
And that's what Canada is under.
Yeah.
Socialism.
It sounds great.
It's not good.
It's the sweetness in your ear, only to find out that you're eating poison.
Well,
I remember, and I would go into Canada, and it was a spotless country. It was beautiful. I mean, there was nothing.
Until socialism came in and
Yeah.
messed it all up.
And now they have rampant everything. The same thing that you're seeing in some of the dying American cities.
Yeah, it's too bad.
The infection, and the socialists don't want to sit back and say, hey, it's because we just said,
No, that's okay. We'll clean it up. Don't worry. The United States will fix it.
yeah,
And under Donald Trump, here's something else that Donald have done. Federal spending. America was spending trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars for wars. 13 wars that we've had.
Yeah.
And all that money that is being spent, Donald Trump has said, cut the federal spending.
we're 250 years old, and we've only been at peace 25 years
Could you believe that?
in our existence.
And look, Joel, the majority of any war that was started by Democrats. I don't care if it's slavery, all the way down. It's always I don't know what's wrong with these people. But anyway, Donald Trump's cutting federal spending. That's a good thing. Now, here's the big one that is a problem for a lot of people. Reducing federal workforces. I'd say, when, some people lose their job, you weren't doing anything anyway. You're sitting in the house.
The ugly little secret that no one wants to admit to is that a lot of government jobs are just cake.
They've been eating that cake and
Oh, yeah. I mean,
doing nothing.
the government worker is not the type of worker you would find in the free enterprise. You'd get fired.
Bureaucrats.
Yeah, you'd get fired.
No, bureaucrats are something else.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I
mean,
they discovered even when they started, 80% of the offices were empty.
empty.
Then they discovered, they're not doing any work at home.
Exactly. People spend a lot of money to
Yeah.
build those buildings, and for you to go in and work in, and you want to stay your behind and work in your pajamas.
Could you imagine being an employer and saying you have to show up actually to the office, and then the federal workers are sitting back and going,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, I can sit home and just have my coffee, donut,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
just do nothing at home.
yeah. I've never heard of any, privately owned company where the workforce would refuse to come into work and get paid.
It doesn't make any sense. But now, Donald Trump also have increased the executive, authority. His executive, the authorization for the executive branch of government. Some people got problem with that too, but we need to do that. That doesn't make him king. That just makes him do what Americans elected him to do.
I'm a traditionalist. I get nervous when someone says, well, we're going to make an exception and we're going to do this just this one time. That's not how the government works. It becomes precedent. So does the next person then take it in? So you're not worried about Donald Trump. You're worried about the nut down the line who's going to take
And they're coming in. They're not coming. We're not accepting it. But the last, and it's not the last thing that he done that sticks out in that 100 days, and that is implementing a non-interventional foreign policy. His foreign policy is really working. I mean,
Yes.
because we're a superpower, like those people that the Israelis are fighting, you mess up, whoop your ass. We'll kick your behind.
So the question is, should we have 800 military bases around the world?
Well, if the world is behaving improperly, why not? Somebody got to take care of it. It's like a family.
Right. So the Chinese, who we say are our greatest threat, have about 5 or 6 military bases around the world. And
Yeah,
we're
well,
at 800.
because they need it internally.
Yeah.
We're only 350 million. We can spare some people to help them out. And we really, the foreign policy is just out there to help other countries keep peace within themselves. Because people out in other countries are battling each other, fighting. And countries like France, which we're going to be talking about, because France has been messing up. What a boy, what's that boy's name? Macaroni?
Touré.
No, well, Touré is giving France hell. And look, I'm kind of having a little problem what's going on in Burkina Faso. Here's my problem. I think somebody's setting him up.
And they have to.
You know, let's go through this. Here's a young man using dictatorial methodology to take over a country. Not necessarily a country that was democratically elected, but using dictatorial strong arm to take over the country. And now he has control of the country. And a domino effect begins to take place. It was not just Burkina Faso. Suddenly you have Mali, you have Niger, you have Chad, you have Benin. And incidentally, something happened yesterday in Benin where over 600 people were killed. You know, these people, see, this is why we need military forces in some countries. How the hell can you kill 600 people inside your country? This is family members. These are people in your country.
I have some suspicions that since the West literally cannot survive without free access to African resources, that somewhere in the woods is the devil who is
Well,
stirring.
you and I have a different opinion on who's the West.
How much does it cost to kill 600 people? Now, you can't tell me that you got that kind of money and you're just a little rebel band with a couple of M16 rifles.
Who is manipulating it?
The
Who
West.
is, huh?
The French, the Americans, the Western. The Western.
God, I don't want to see that
The
Americans
West
are involved.
cannot survive. Literally, they will go backwards. If look what happened to Britain after it lost its empire. They can't even. They're going. They're broke.
They got no part to piss in.
Yeah, and the rest of the West is sitting back.
And why are people running back over there? Then? What the hell do you run? Especially African people. What the hell are you running to the United Kingdom for?
You know, it's
not a kingdom anymore.
It's nostalgia.
It's a sick. You're sick-minded to go run. You know, it's the belly of the beast. The biggest slave makers in the world, or at least, you know, from different historical perspective.
Yeah.
And you over here running to it. But look what happened to Burkina Faso, and what the French have recently begged after literally destroying the country's natural resources.
Mm-hmm.
That means France.
Yes.
And that Macaroni fellow. Yeah, his name is Macron, but you know, I don't like him. I don't like the French. So he's been going after Torres. 19 assassination attempts on this young man. I have a little problem about dictators taking over a country. There is something that is so similar to Gaddafi, of another dictator that took over a country. The similarity between what is potentially going to happen to Torres and what happened to Gaddafi is really...
Oh, the United States was almost arrogant about when Hillary Clinton says, what did she say? We came, we saw, and he died. You know, so if the United States is going to be that open about what they're doing to these African leaders, every time an African leader steps forward and says Africa for Africa, resources, infrastructure, we need to build. So
somebody's going to go in there
and yeah, the next day they're gone.
All right, you know, we're going to go to a tape about what the French have just asked Ibrahim Torres of Burkina Faso. They call him the president. He's a dictator. You know, let Africa, let's be honest about it. He took his country by force. But listen to what happened when French, after so many attempts on this man's life, and after so many arrogant attitude, even when they were being kicked out, and the kind of things that they said about Ibrahim Torres. Listen to what Torres said to the French government, to that Macaroni guy.
Macron recently said, "We need to strengthen our friendship with Captain Ibrahim Traoré, president of Burkina Faso, as we convince him to allow our military bases in his country." Ibrahim Traoré didn't hesitate to put him in his place. He responded, "But you're already friends with the USA, Britain, Brazil, and Canada. Do you have any military bases in those countries?" Macron had no answer. Burkina Faso, under Traoré, has been taking a strong stance against Western military influence, pushing for true sovereignty. France's long history of military presence in Africa is being challenged, and leaders like Traoré are making it clear they will not be pressured into foreign military agreements.
You understand?
Yeah.
They're trying to pressure them to accept military bases.
What did they say in The Godfather? We're going to make an offer you can't refuse. I mean,
You know, you're looking for friendship with a guy that you've been cursing out, talking bad about. Now you're looking to be friends with him? Oh, come on.
on the surface.
On the surface. Well, he opened his mouth. The problem with you, Mr. Macaroni, from France, we don't like you. You're a liar. You're a crook. You're a cheat. You're doing everything. The whole Central Africa, countries in Central Africa, the map, you just take a look at the map of Africa.
Yes, I'm familiar.
You know, the French have just taken 14 countries.
Yeah, yeah.
14. And you want more? The hell with you. Why don't you allow Burkina Faso and every other country to put military bases in France?
Again, it becomes this. If France allows the Africans to have sovereignty over their own lives, it will destroy the kingdom or the French economy. They cannot survive on what they have at home. They have to have an empire.
So why don't they just move over with some other countries and not go to Africa? Africa don't want you. So anyway, Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Torres, I got a problem with you being dictatorial, and there's some of my people, my African brothers, who, are supporting him because of that. We got our own. We're taking our own.
Well, it's kind of like, to me, it's if your child is starving, do you care if you're getting the food to feed your child from a dictator or from a Democrat?
Okay.
What is your choice?
You just want to get the food in the belly of the baby.
At some point, when you've developed the society enough where people can survive, then you can sit back and say, hey, I want more rights.
All right.
Look at the Chinese. I mean, they used to be communist. Now they're just dictatorship. Let's assume, I don't know, that they're trying to move towards being more democratic. I doubt it, but that's.
But anyway, Burkina Faso people, I support you supporting Ibrahim Torres, but I caution. And Joel, I speak this clearly. I caution the people of Burkina Faso to continue to protect Ibrahim Torres, because if he is doing something good for the country, that common good that you spoke of, good for the country, good for the people, economically good, politically good, socialistically good, that is hospitals, building hospitals, building infrastructures, doing a good job with that. I ask you, look, Burkina Faso, I think it is a way to say Burkina Fasoans. Burkina Fasoans, the people from Burkina Faso, continue to support him. Mali, I'm not sure if they're doing that. Niger, I'm not sure they're doing that. Their leader. And it seems also that we have to go to Benin, where over 600 people, I think it's 609 people yesterday was killed.
I hate to have this thought. I don't see him living to be an old man. I think that somewhere they're going to get him. But they have to figure out a way to make him look bad. African leaders who defy the West die.
Okay, but listen, maybe, in the past, African leaders die. Are those same crooked leaders still in place?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. Time changes. And like that brother says in that song, everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Right?
Yeah, I can look at it that way, but it's not even about the individual. It's about control. Europe needs to control Africa. Africa's in the European.
And so what needs to be done?
In the dark, you need to have a NATO type force that is loyal to the African cause.
NATO.
An African version of NATO, where if France or these other countries come in and they all come together.
Okay, everybody come together.
And resist against.
I think that's what is going on, and that's why
Yeah.
Nigeria, Mali,
Yeah.
Burkina Faso, the leaders of these countries in the belt of South of Africa, the continent itself,
Yes.
within that belt, I think maybe that is what's going on. And they're trying to pull Nigeria in, but Nigeria keeps doing some of the stupidest thing in the world. Come on, Nigeria, you're not doing the right thing. Look, Joel, let me be honest. I keep telling people there is no such place as Nigeria. There is a region where everybody can come and buy oil, buy gold, buy people, buy the intelligentsia, and take it out of there. I mean, it's not really a sovereign nation. To be sovereign and independent, not only do you fight like hell for it, for your property, for that country, but you fight for it, and when your law is not your law, when your flag was not designed by you, when your money is not your money, Naira is not designed by Nigerians, maybe a little bit here and there. So what good, what you can't call that region a nation. It's not a nation.
I think that the chaos in Africa, one day, hopefully in the near future, we're going to find out when they start peeling back this whole thing, you're going to find the European influence from their CIA level operations who have designed chaos.
We really need to find somebody or some group of people that will make sure that there is some other method of taking the leadership of that continent and working with it, almost like Donald Trump did for this country.
Africa needs to have the kind of like what the Asian countries have done. They expelled the European powers and they set up their own system.
But what happens when the guy that you expel don't want to be expelled?
Then you kill him in the middle of the night, like they all.
Oh my goodness!
That's what you have to do.
So if you folks that are continuing to try to take Africa by force, if you step your foot into the continent, that's where it stays.
Let's do the math. Europeans are 9% of the world population.
I forgot to tell you something. The first president of Nigeria was a white man.
Okay, that makes sense.
The person that named the country, Nigeria, is a white woman.
Yeah.
So it's not your country. It's their country. But you can leave Biafra alone. Get out of the way so Biafra can show the rest of Africa what needs to be done and how to do it so the continent can have some inkling of survival.
Okay, so if you travel around the U.S., you're going to bump into many different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
But we stay together as a collective of these cultures to exert international influence.
Yeah.
Africa has to have this. You can't fight right now, today, with each other and be successful in expelling the Europeans.
It's a frightening thought that there will be any kind of fighting.
They're going to exploit, and they've already exploited it. They've designed these countries so that they could pit one against the other. Of course, if you continue to fight, the Europeans are going to just laugh behind your back and continue to exploit.
We almost finished, but I'd like to ask all of you who are watching, please subscribe, ring the bell,
Press the notification.
press the notification, you know, we thank everybody for being patient with us. And, you know, well, let's talk about it because there is a lot to talk about. So, with the remaining minutes that we have, Joel, how do you see Donald Trump's next 100 days?
100 years?
100 years?
The next 100 days, the Democrats are going to use lawfare. They're shopping for judges to basically block all of his presidential
Agendas and president, yeah.
That's their own. That is literally the other thing they can do is what they're doing. They're having protests that are turning violent, and they're just doing anything. It's a.
Is that going to
It's
be
a
good for the
strategy.
country, though?
It's a
Is that
strategy.
good?
Well, politics don't care about the people. The socialists and them and all these other groups are supposed to put us first, the people first. But that's not the way it seems to be going. It's about the political movement. It's kind of like that joke about Black Lives Matter's last.
That
That
was a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, we got bamboozled on that one.
Yeah.
That was bozo.
Yeah. Three women ended up multi-millionaires
Millionaires just
with 3 and 4 mansions.
just sucking us up.
Yeah. And that was supposed.
Like it's something new.
Isn't that though the same thing that is happening to Africa? You have to bring in puppets who are going to be thieves, who have nothing or don't care about the people, but they exploit.
We want you to come. I want you to come. Joel, I'm inviting you. First of all, let me start with the ladies, because they're more susceptible to come in and do something. We want you to come to the studio, and we will give you the opportunity. We don't want to do the Zoom boom, no. Want you to physically come to the studio, 6188 Oxon Hill Road, and let's go ahead and have a really big community talk. I'm inviting you. Unfortunately, it's on Sundays right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, if our engineers agree, we will go ahead and make some changes, but we want you to come. We have a big studio, huge. We can sit about almost 100 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
Come on in. Let's sit down and talk. We want to see some of you sharp ladies. Here's something else that has happened. Marshall Plan. Now, black people, let me tell you something. If you're not listening, you better listen now. Maryland and other states are engaged in violation of federal laws.
Mm.
And when you start doing that,
It's insurrection.
people like the current the President of the United States is going to implement federal martial law. And it takes an awful lot of information. You need to know what that means, because these generations have no idea what a martial law is. And I want you to be able to, in a couple of minutes, Joel, explain to these people that they ain't listening, and you should listen.
I've explained martial law in my past as the house is on fire, somebody has to pull the alarm. And, forget the politeness, get the hell out of the building. That's the easiest way to put it. If our society has come to a crisis where there is now a fire, metaphorically, how do we rescue the society from harm?
Well, there was one way that they passed, before you go ahead, some politicians, how they did it, and I would take Baltimore City as an example, where more than 300 people were killed every year for 8 consecutive years, where more than 400 people were aborted in terms of abortion since 1970 all the way till now. Is that not genocide? Is that some kind of?
Yeah.
Does that fit into your house fire analysis?
I think that is a part of it, but the issue becomes if you have societal breakdown, if the economy can't survive. CVS and all these different pharmacies are closing their stores because they're being looted out of business. and they're closing them in our neighborhoods. Now, what is the cause of it? Obviously, we can go back and literally say, well, there are no jobs.
Yeah.
And that the only jobs,
That's a point. Yeah.
yes, the only jobs are crime. You know, I get it. You know, however,
A crime. Oh, God Almighty. Look here, black folks. We need to do better.
Yeah.
I know that every time that we take a step forward, somebody pours oil and we slip and take a 2-3 step back.
yeah,
But we got to keep going.
yeah. So,
So we need mothers to take better care of the children. We need mothers to care more about these incarcerated black men.
we need jobs. We need livable wages.
We need jobs. So, Mr. President, let's get a little personal. In the black community, we need jobs.
Desperately.
Now, martial law may work so that we can cut down on the homicides that is taking place, so that we can, take a little better care of the community. But jobs are needed.
You can't riot if you're at work.
Did you see that thing that Putin put down about Africa being a graveyard?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Is that applicable to the black community? How can you grow a black community when there's a constant war?
We were moving forward for such a, post-slavery and then going into the construction and the world wars. We were moving up. Communities were thriving. Many of my family came to the north because of the great opportunity in the factories.
Alleged opportunity.
Well, I can honestly say within my neighborhood, everybody's parents worked in the factories, 100%.
Yeah.
And then when all those factories started shutting down in the 70s, we were sitting around going, they want us to flip burgers now for minimum wage. And our neighborhood died.
We were busy manufacturing cars and things.
And that has that been changed? No, they still want us to go and have slave wages. That you can't support a family off of flipping burgers, at McDonald's. You have to have hard jobs that we had, and that for some crazy reason we gave away to our enemy, the Chinese. And they're laughing at us when they're saying, you want us to send back those jobs? Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing one thing where one Chinese guy says, hey, in America, we have this product. We have that product coming to you from China. But look at my hands. I don't see any American products in my hands.
Yeah.
Closed it.
Yeah. So the economy that what was it? I don't want to misquote. I think 60% of the black community was involved in manufacturing. 60% lost their jobs.
That's an awful lot.
So what's going to happen to those people? Their kids got to eat and they got to keep the house lights on. The economies in many of those devastated neighborhoods is now crime.
You know something? There was a guy that sang a song, and I knew him a little bit. I met him. The song was to tell a story about where he was born. I was born by the river. Do you know that song? If you don't know that song, you should know that song.
Yeah.
I really appreciate everybody who came to watching us. We got a few more minutes, but we're gonna go ahead and kind of end this thing with asking people to take better care of themselves, take better care of your health, stop all this criminal activities. It doesn't make any sense unless you're a Democrat. Hey, don't get mad at me. You doing some bad stuff. When you were in charge, people supported you. Look at Obama. We put him in there for 8 years. And what did he do? Nothing. Now you get somebody new and you want to hurt him because you want to stay. You want Obama back? Who the heck is Kamala? What's her name again? Kamala who?
I don't know.
I forgot that woman's name.
But I think of that old proverb. If you give a man a fish, He'll eat for the day. If you teach a man to fish, he will eat for a lifetime.
That's
But if
what
you-
China is trying to tell us, buddy.
Yeah.
We're building Africa. What are you doing? I think we've seen a video on that.
But here at home, you know, the lake that we would get those fish from has been dried up.
All contaminated.
Yeah. So what the biggest problem, the ugly, you know, elephant in the room is our economy. 60% of the black jobs, so to speak, that paid livable wages are gone. And nobody's talking about it on either side.
Joel, we're not going to beat a dead horse. We got a new pope. What's his name again? Chicago Pope?
Leo.
Leo, the Pope. Okay, you Catholics, don't get angry now, you know. I'm not trying to ruffle your feathers, but we got a Chi-Town, what they call Chicago again? Chi-Town.
Yep.
You know, we got a Chi-Town Pope. That's Chicago Pope.
The Windy City.
The Windy City. First time in America, we got an American Pope. Well, I thought he was going to be the one from Philippines.
Yeah, that's,
And Nigerians thought he was going to be the one from Nigeria.
yeah.
You know, and in New Jersey, the people from Hoboken thought it was going to be Mickey Mouse. I don't know. But it turned around to be Pope. What do you say about the Pope, bro?
Well, I'm not Catholic, so I can't literally say it.
What did they do anyway? They had more than 1 billion followers.
The Pope is basically the historical leader of the Catholic religion. Theoretically, all Christians descend their roots from the Catholic side, and then during the what was that I can't remember the name of it, where who was the theologian who tacked that thing on the Vatican doors talking about reform, and then from that came Protestantism, and we evolved into, you know, all these different sects of Christianity.
Christianity, yeah.
Yeah, theoretically, we were all one, and then split apart during the Reformation.
So because America is in disarray. America was, under the former administration, divided country. And to some extent, it's still a divided country.
We always
Is having an American Pope going to help reform America in some ways and help to unify it? I mean, you know what? I mean, the church makes a lot of money. We can wipe out the national debt with the money that the Catholics got. They got a lot of money.
The Constitution of the United States says that they can operate free from, you know, governmental influence.
Thank you, everybody. We're done. Arrivederci. See you next time.
Stop, stop, et ne pleure plus mon bébé. Oh.